We welcome you to the video presentation of our paper, My Heart Will Go On, Implicitly Increasing Social Connectedness by Visualizing Asynchronous Players' Heartbeats in VR Games. This is Florian, Müller, Francesco, Chiossi, Theodor, Benga, Andreas, Butz, and myself, Hirsch, all from Munich in Germany. In our work, we focus on social VR games. One of the driving success factors in such contexts is social connectedness. Enabling users to feel socially connected increases their level of immersion, enjoyment, and improves the gaming experience. Yet most virtual realities keep little evidence of users' activities and behaviors, which challenges users to feel socially connected in asynchronous gaming scenarios or single-player games. Our work explored the effect of asynchronously shared social cues, namely heartbeat data, on a single-user gaming experience along a self-developed escape room game. We decided on a virtual escape room because such games are collaborative, but mostly played as single-player games when played in a digital or virtual form. For our work, we introduced these two hypotheses. Hypothesis 1, displaying real asynchronous players' ECG data that is temporally and spatially integrated into the VR game scene improves players' social connectedness, gaming experience, and understanding of other players' activities compared to having no data visualization. Hypothesis 2, providing multiple individual ECG data distracts players and reduces their performance more than only one person's ECG data visualization or no visualization. The heartbeat visualizations were displayed either in the form of pulsating heart icons or ECG lines. All visualizations were temporally and spatially integrated, reflecting the player's movement through the VR room. We derived them from a design workshop with 4 experts, 1 data visualization expert, 1 VR designer, and 2 experts researching physiological data for interaction in VR and other realities. We applied brainstorming and sketching methods, including sketching on paper and directly in the VR escape room. The workshop results suggested exploring heartbeat considering 2x2 visualization dimensions, the number of players altering between single versus multiplayer, and the visualization style comparing ECG lines versus heart icons. To create the visualizations, we collected real players' ECG data while playing the game in a pre-study with 4 participants with a Polar H10 chest band. In the main study, we implemented 5 stories for within-subject study design, comparing the visualizations against the baseline condition without visualization. We presented the stories in a randomized order. During the game, participants were put into the role of the space station's captain, who needed to exit the room within the next 10 minutes because, for example, approaching alien invasion or leaking oxygen. Each story included 3 different riddles that needed to be solved subsequently. Participants had to, for example, match pictures with objects, count the numbers on and off pineapples, throw darts, shoot aliens, break bottles, and many more activities. We provided hints after a player didn't proceed for 2.5 minutes. Participants took a short break between stories and completed questionnaires to rate their immediate experiences. We also asked them to compare their experience in a final questionnaire and completed the session with a short interview about their reasons for indicated playing preferences and observed behaviors. This is how the in vitro conditions appeared in the VR game environment. First, the single ECG visualization, then the multiple ECG visualization, here you see the single heart icons, and finally the multiple heart icon conditions. Now coming to the results of our study, we had 34 participants and applied inferential statistics to investigate our hypothesis. For most data evaluations, we conducted Shapiro-Wilk normality test and applied either repeated measurements ANOVA or the Friedman test if the normality assumption was violated. For the qualitative data, we applied a reflexive thematic analysis following an inductive approach. To respond to the visualization's effect on social connectedness, we looked at the iOS and social presence questionnaire. The results showed a significant effect in both cases. Canova's post-hoc test showed that the difference was significant for all but the single ECG data visualization. We also evaluated the psychosocial and functional question blocks from the player experience inventory to assess participants' gaming experience. However, the results of Friedman rank SAM test didn't reveal any significant differences. The custom Likert scales contribute to understanding the visualization's effect on how participants understood other players' activities. They include statements such as, "I feel I understood what others had done in the VR through the heartbeat visualizations," or "The visualization distracted me from playing the game." We saw a significantly higher understanding of heart icon visualizations, but not of the ECG data visualizations. For further details, please refer here to our paper. For the second hypothesis, we looked at the time spent to completion and the number of hints needed. Our results supported the hypothesis that multiple visualizations trigger greater confusion but stay inconclusive about the influence on the player's performance. Lastly, we used the qualitative results to understand participants' reasoning for ranking or rating the data respectively. Our main finding of the qualitative results include, for example, that heart icons triggered the greatest social connectedness and emotional attachment, with statements such as, "The more you see where they went, the more I felt connected to them, especially if they helped me find clues." Or, "I thought about standing next to somebody else." Another finding was that multiple ECGs were most distracting and annoying, but also helped participants. This shows in statements such as, "Too many visualizations were distracting and blocked the vision, but multiple is better as I get to see more players." Based on the results, we derived 3 design recommendations for future work. First, apply well-known symbols of social and emotional meaning to visualize physiological data to increase social connectedness. This applies particularly when aiming for easy-to-understand, familiar visualizations, because heart icons are a well-known metaphor for socio-emotional information sharing. Second, balance the amount of asynchronous players' data visualizations for scalability and understanding when used as secondary task information. The multiple player conditions showed greater social connectedness and presence, but they also led to more confusion. Thus, we suggest working with unobtrusive design methods to balance the effect in future work. Third, include dynamic visualization elements to support users' impression of connecting to other asynchronous players. This recommendation also relates to trusting the system that the visualizations are real. In the qualitative data, we found that pulsation of the visualization supported the impression of seeing real person's data. Furthermore, we noticed that displaying asynchronous players' physiological data can trigger competitiveness or foster collaboration in a single VR game. Also, asynchronously shared physiological data extends current in-game social cues, fostering the impression of the presence of real asynchronous players. In-game shared physiological data also provide implicit yet still ambiguous communication cues. It creates an effect of co-location, which contributes to the feeling of playing together and turns a single-player game into a social experience. Of course, our work also faced certain limitations that inspire future work. For example, future work could explore other physiological data, different contexts than escape rooms, or the potential of visualizing and sharing heartbeat data to mitigate loneliness. With that, we thank you for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to hearing from you in case of questions or collaboration ideas.